Stories with Grandpa. Hello, Madison, Malia, Luke, and Rocky. I hope you enjoyed this story. It's called A House for a Mouse by Lizette Starr, read by Grandpa Abel on Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. A House for a Mouse. One thundery night I was cozy and warm, under the covers, safe from the storm. I was lying awake, counting sheep in my head, when I heard something moving under my bed. Suddenly I was trembling with fear. Could there be a monster about to appear? Then I heard it again, that scuttling sound. It was so scary, it made my heart pound. But then I realized the sound was quite small. It just didn't sound like a monster at all. So I summoned my courage and turned out the light. I took a deep breath and prepared for a fright. I put my head down and pulled back the bedspread. But there wasn't a monster under my bed. Instead, I saw something cowering and small, a tiny young mouse, barely 2 inches tall. "Hello, little mouse," I said with a smile. "Have you been there long or just for a short while?" "I just came in now," the young mouse replied. "It's bitterly cold to be staying outside. I was shivering and wet all alone in the shed. I thought I might freeze, so inside I fled. But your room's so lovely and toasty and warm, I was hoping that I could stay here until dawn." I thought for a bit about what the mouse said, and so many questions popped into my head. "So you live out there, in the cold, in the shed?" "Well, yes," said the mouse, "but it fills me with dread. Nobody wants a mouse hanging around, and I'll get thrown out the moment I'm found." "So you don't have a family, a house, or a home?" "No," said the mouse, "I'm all alone. I wanted to shelter this cold winter's eve, but I don't want to scare you, so I should just leave." I thought to myself, it just doesn't seem fair, me warm in here while he's freezing out there. "Well, I'm not scared of you, and you don't have to go. It's so chilly outside. Look, it's starting to snow. Stay here with me. I'm a wonderful host. I'll even make breakfast with muesli and toast." The little mouse thanked me and snuggled in tight and thawed out his nose by the warm firelight. Then we slumbered and snored and woke with a shock when my alarm sounded at 7 o'clock. We jumped out of bed and raced down the stairs so I could make porridge with yogurt and pears. I opened the cupboard and pulled out a pot. I poured in the oats and stirred it a lot. Hearing the noise, my father rushed in. "What's all the racket?" he said with a grin. "I'm making breakfast," I said with a smile. But his face just froze, like he'd seen something vile. My dad screamed and jumped up on a chair. "There's a mouse in the house. Look, it's right over there." My mother ran down to the basement storeroom and came running back, up armed with her broom. "Don't worry, dear. I'll get that mouse. I'll get that mouse right out of this house." "Stop!" I cried. "His name is Oscar, and he is with me. I invited him in for porridge and tea. It's been so frosty and grizzly and grey, and Oscar's my friend. I want him to stay." My father looked stern and said it wasn't right. "You can't have a mouse stay night after night." "But why not?" I protested. "Oscar's so small. I'm sure he'd be no trouble at all." "Well, yes, he is tiny. He's just a few ounces, but think what would happen if the cat pounces." I knew that my dad was probably right. The cat could give Oscar much more than a fright. So I thought long and hard about what we could do. I was scratching my head, but I hadn't a clue. And then it just hit me. A smashing idea. The answer was suddenly perfectly clear. "I've got it," I said. "Let's make him a house. A tiny wee house, just right for a mouse." "Please, Mum, Dad, can we?" Can we please? My mother smiled sweetly and put down the broom. Maybe we could make Oscar a house in your room. So we fixed up the doll's house from out of the shed. We put in some food and a nice comfy bed, a bathroom, some books, and somewhere to play, and a front door to keep Mr. Whiskers away. Then we put Oscar's house next to my chest of drawers, and gave him the keys and said, "This is now yours." And Oscar was happy. He moved right on in. "I'd love my new place," he said with a grin. Now Oscar and I get to frolic and play, but the last thing we do at the end of each day, before we go to bed and turn out the light, we smile at each other and we say good night. I hope you enjoyed that story, A House for a Mouse. So until next time, God bless. Bye.